guys.
Hello, everybody. It's John, me, and Danny, and possibly Ibrahim if he's able to make all the stuff work out. And we're going to be so I got another rewrite of Palace, and John has another version of Angel of Darkness.
No, this is Spirit of the Dragon 4, the rewrite of the fight scene. No, I'm Angel of Darkness 4. I have put to bed.
Okay. All right.
I made some changes, some tweaks, some rewrites. You'll have to back it to find out what got changed and what didn't.
Oh shit! The suspense is killing me.
But I think you'll be good.
Suspense.
But this is the Spirit of the Dragon end of issue 4 fight scene. That
was that the one with the giant robot, like the nipple robot?
Yes.
Nippletron. I just want to call it Nippletron now. I shouldn't do that.
But hold on. Let's go ahead and, you know what? We didn't get notes from the most important person because this really is the cover of John's book. So John, here let's. I'm gonna show him Ediano's sketch here. Let's just see what John thinks. So let's go. All right, John, what do we think?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So, only notes I had was on boob shape.
A little too round?
Yeah, I felt they were.
They're defying gravity a little.
Yes, I don't like it when my boobs defy gravity. They need to hang. Have some heft to them. Yeah. Anyway, so then that was the note I passed along.
Yeah, it's not bad. He does good work. If I can afford him, I'd like to hire him one day.
There you go.
It's just a little pricey. Do I have it handy? I could show you. I have
We're waiting on you, John. Was there something you want to show us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. All right, here we go.
This is Discount Ediano.
That's nice.
This is Renato. I got from
Court.
Yeah. He did pencils and inks, and he was about half the cost of Renato and Jag.
Okay.
And then I had Emmanuel do colors. That's going to be one of my covers for 3.
That's nice.
That's nice.
Awesome. I mean, look, pretty soon you're gonna have to start giving us seminars. So we. All right, wait. There's one thing. Are those lanterns really realistic to a train?
You mean the ones hanging from the ceiling?
Yeah.
Let me go back to my. Where is the?
Oh, the man's got references.
There we go.
I got to double check.
Okay.
To see where are my interiors of. Do I not have them in this folder? I might not have them in this folder.
Okay. Well,
let's see. Nope, I don't have interior references, so I guess he just made that up.
Okay. Yeah. Because
I thought I did, but
because they don't seem attached to the ceiling. I mean, they are screwed there, but are those electric? If so, there should be a cord coming down to them. Are they burning like oil of some kind? You know, like if they're funky lanterns that don't. Not to mention, in a train, the height of the compartment is going to be uniform and kind of engineered to be a little low, so you wouldn't want chandeliers which were hanging low just for aesthetics. You know? Anyway, that would I worry about crazy shit. But there we go. All right, Danny, John's script or my script? What do you want to look at?
Okay, which of you wants me narrating? So I'm going to do that first.
Okay.
you can do mine.
Okay.
It's up.
All right.
It's up to you. I don't think you letter. You don't do lettering for Preston.
I do not do lettering for Preston.
And this is the closest I'm going to get to getting you to give me editorial advice for free.
All right. So that's 1 point for John the Opportunist.
Yeah.
Larry, you'll be pleased to know I just backed your campaign. Welcome.
Yeah. I saw it actually. It's real time.
You know, I figure I should get a copy of it. I'm really pleased with how the letters came out, and
nice.
I should support you.
And
thanks, man.
And hey, really when you support me, my shipping is way cheaper.
There you go.
It's true.
Okay, Spirit of the Dragon, Chapter 4, page 14. Exterior, Santa Monica Pier, night. Panel 1, Julia stands alone at the edge of the pier, looking out across the ocean. The moon hangs large and low. Panel 2, Megan walks up beside her, leans against the railing. That is very difficult to draw. Smiles up at Julia.
Who's Megan?
Larry, you can do Megan, and Preston, why don't you do Julia?
Okay, tonight's been quite a night for revelations.
Yes, I suppose it has.
Just know you don't have to be alone.
Panel 3. Megan puts her arms around Julia, hugging her.
Thank you. You have been my friend since I arrived at school.
You look like you need a friend, and I was happy to provide.
Panel 4. Close up. Langhouse. Interior. Kitchen night. The telephone hanging on the wall rings. Bring. Panel 5. Jacob stands in the kitchen, holding the phone to his ear.
Detective Lang.
Detective. Is Miss Sue available?
Not at the moment. Should I take a message?
Yes. Is urgent. Miss Sue, return to the consulate immediately. That's not how you spell consulate. Her driver, Mr. John Smith, has been dispatched to pick her up to return her here. Page 15. Exterior Santa Monica Pier night. Megan takes Julia's hand.
Oh, what the hell is that?
Panel 1.
No,
oh,
panel
sorry.
1.
Sorry, wrong panel. We should probably head back before my dad gets worried.
Panel 2. Megan and Julia face down the pier to Ocean Boulevard, where they see Temperance, Mecha Chick. Yeah, Nippletron is better. Walking down the pier towards them.
All right, what the hell is that?
A Nazi super weapon.
Panel 3. Temperance smiles a wide evil grin. Eyes maniacal.
Miss Julia, Miss Megan, just the two delinquents I was looking for.
Panel 4. Temperance, Mecha Chick, stands rear/side pro. Pick one.
Yeah, I was thinking that was
Rear is not profile. Profile means from the side.
Yeah.
Anyways, her body still facing Megan and Julia in the distance, but looking back at us. Okay, so this is like an exorcist thing with her head spinning around. What is happening?
No, she's standing. Her body's facing one way, but she's looking back.
She's pivoting.
So Temperance / Mecha chick looks over her left shoulder.
Yes.
Is
Okay.
that it?
I think that's what he's going for.
Yeah, view from behind. She looks over Blah's shoulder. Get on with it.
Yeah.
The vehicle headlights shine on her.
Exactly.
SFX vroom. Growing from off panel. Cool. Vroom. Panel 5, the front end of Jacob's truck slams into Temperance / Mecha chick.
Oh yeah.
Grabs the truck. Mech arms gripping the sides. Slam. That is a
Slam.
lot of verbs in one.
That is a bunch.
John, you're better than this. Page 16, exterior Santa Monica Pier. Panel 1, Temperance / Mecha chick picks the truck up off the ground. The sides of the truck dent inward under the grip of the mech fists as the windows crack. Temperance laughs. That was exactly the right number of verbs. See, I knew you were better than this, John.
All right, John.
Holy shit!
Panel 2, 2-page spread. It's not a spread if it's got 3 panels, John.
It is to me.
Temperance / Mecha chick throws the truck off the pier onto the beach. In the background, several people stand around watching. Behind them, and a carnival worker walks elephants around a small circle to the glee of children riding on their backs. See, that is worth a bunch of bullshit. You added the elephant. I am totally behind this. It's hilarious. Way to go.
Daddy.
Panel 3, the truck crashes onto the beach, windows shattering, Jacob's still inside.
Correct. I know it was your line, but I just wanted to.
Yeah, that's cool. Sorry, I'm still not quite sure how to yell at John about that hot mess of direction. Pick an image is not clear which is the most important. It feels like it should be the crash, but actually it's the fact that there's elephants. And I'm a hundo P behind the elephants, but I feel like you're still doing it wrong. Okay. Make the elephants single page spread, then do like a 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom, big thing to emphasize the crash and get on with your life. That's your 2 pages. Okay, page 18, exterior Santa Monica Pier. Panel 1, Temperance / Mecha chick raises her Gatling gun mech arm. The motor spins up. Brrr.
There we go.
Panel 2, Julia and Megan dive behind a carnival stand as a hail of gunfire rips through it.
Hell yeah.
Ta-ta-ta.
Julia says, run. That's me. Run.
Okay. Panel 3, the elephants previously walking in a circle as children ride them rise up on their hind legs, throwing their riders aside. One of the carnival works tries to control them, but the animal kicks him. That's a fine panel.
That's where I need the sound effects for elephants blowing trumpet thing.
So SFX, elephants, I don't know, squeak.
Trumpet.
Trumpet.
You tell me you're going to be lettering it.
Just trumpet.
Just write down there should be an SFX, or else I'm not going to do one for you.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do SFX. Put something here.
Trumpet.
Sure. SFX, elephants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Panel 4, Julia pulls Megan as the elephants stampede past them, knocking other carnival workers and patrons to the side. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Panel 5, one of the elephants hits the control box for the massive Santa Monica Ferris wheel. Oh, we've gone like full like Rube Goldberg machine. I love this. Crash. Page 19, exterior Santa Monica Pier night. Julia picks up 4 darts off a Carvel dart throwing booth. Panel 2, Julia throws the darts. All 4 of them?
All 4 of them.
Sure, let's go. Panel 3.
and you know what? They should be in like an arc. Like you should just like one draw and just like multiple.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, she is a ninja. She could do that.
Yeah. She should do that. She's a ninja. If you're not sure how to do ninja stuff, go read some Naruto. Exactly. Temperance / Mecha chick stands in front of the dart throwing booth, whatever that is. Her one hand up, the darts hang suspended in the blue magnetic aura. To her side, by the dartboard, the carney stares at her practically naked body. You're looking fine tonight, sweetheart. Panel 4. Temperance rolls her eyes, exasperated. Temperance / Mecha Chick holds out the mech hand that was suspending the darts, points at the carney. The carney is now pinned to the dartboard with the 4 darts bleeding from the wounds, 2 in his chest and 1 in each shoulder. Was it something I said? Cough. I feel like there's also a lot of verbs in that panel, John.
It's the beginning and the end.
Just show one.
Yeah. Okay.
Panel 5. Julia and Megan run into a billiard hall. Page 20. Interior billiard hall night. Panel 1. Julia and Megan push their way inside as the clamoring patrons exit. Okay.
We have to find a phone and call your father.
Why are they exiting, John?
Because there's crap going on outside. Somebody's shooting guns and
But they're
explosions.
gambling.
What?
They're gambling. And
Hell
now
is
see
breaking
panel
loose
2.
outside. They are fleeing the scene.
See, panel 2 is impetus for them to flee the scene. You got your cause and effect backwards. Speaking of which, in panel 2, Temperance / Mecha Chick crashes through the Western-style swinging doors because the mech suit is larger than the doorway. Debris flies across the room. Julia dive rolls over the pool table. Megan ducks behind the bar. And that's when the clamoring patrons should exit.
Okay. Come on, ladies. This town ain't big enough for the 3 of us.
Panel 3. Julia leaps into the air, raising a pool cue to strike. Her skirt flitters about. Panty shot.
I'm glad my comment earlier that you should write them in has had long-reaching implications. Hi-ya!
Panel 4. Temperance / Mecha Chick grabs the pool cue as it's about to strike her head, with one of the mech hands breaking it in 2, grabs Julia by the throat with the other.
See, I knew putting thumbs on this thing was a good idea.
Does your mother know you go out dressed like that?
Panel 5. Billiard ball smacks Temperance in the face.
In the face.
Temperance / Mecha Chick lets go of Julia as she falls to the floor. Swack. Page 21. Interior billiard hall night. Panel 1. Megan throws another billiard ball overhead like a pro baseballer. Okay. Use motion lines and force perspective to show a clean throw. Panel 2. Temperance / Mecha Chick catches the billiard ball in her mech fist and crushes it. Clay dust poofs around her fist as we see the remnants of its shell hang from the first. Poof.
Genius, isn't it? A marvel of technological engineering.
Panel 3. Low angle. Temperance / Mecha Chick aims the Gatling again. The motor spins up. Julia, crouched underneath, spears the gearbox with the broken pool cue. Panty shot. Panel 4. Close-up gearbox. The broken pool cue jams the gears, causing the chain to break and fly off. Panel 5. Temperance / Mecha Chick backhands Julia, sending her crashing through a side window. Back outside. We need Megan.
Julia.
There you go.
2. Exterior Santa Monica Pier night. Panel 1. Julia sits up, catching her breath. Her school uniform ratty and torn. Not a panty shot. Background. Temperance / Mecha Chick bursts through the side of the billiard hall.
Oh, yeah.
Worth it.
There you go.
Panel 2. The Santa Monica Ferris wheel spins at incredible speeds until, boom, the central gears explode. That's a lot of verbs for a Ferris wheel in one panel, John. Panel 3. Sorry, kaboom. Panel 3. The Santa Monica Ferris wheel crashes onto the ground, still spinning. It rolls towards use. Megan exits the billiard hall as Julia runs towards her. past Temperance / Mecha Chick.
What does it mean to roll towards you?
Well, I didn't write it.
What did you say, Brett?
I don't know what it means to roll towards use.
Probably roll toward us.
Oh, okay, got it. All right.
Okay.
I thought it was some new euphemism or some kind of direction.
Man, those kids these days and their euphemisms.
Julia, oh my God.
Panel 4. Megan panic runs away from the Santa Monica Ferris wheel as Julia catches up, grabbing her arm.
Megan, wait!
Panel 5. Julia holds Megan to the ground, crouching over her body as the Ferris wheel rolls over them, but they are saved by one of the open parts of the Ferris wheel. All right, that was straight up Prometheus shit, wasn't it? Page 23, exterior Santa Monica Pier, night. Panel 1. The Ferris wheel falls of the pier, crashing onto the beach below. Crash. Panel 2, Temperance / Mecha Chick, towers over Julia and Megan as they remain huddled on the ground.
Oh, well, ladies, fun and games are over.
Panel 3, close up, a pump action shotgun. Jacob pumps a shotgun, cha-chink. Panel 4, Jacob stands at close range, fires the shotgun at Temperance Mecha Chick. Temperance Mecha Chick holds up her hand. The blue magnetic repulsion field catches the buckshot. Bam, bam.
No, don't!
Oh, that's you, sorry.
Panel 5,
Julia, yeah.
Temperance / Mecha Chick points the mech's index finger at Jacob, sending the buckshot flying back at him.
Probably needs an SFX for that
Maybe.
panel, but that's all the good story we get today.
That was
Yes.
11 pages.
Well,
I'm pretty sure
was,
14
that
to
was
23.
11 pages of panty shots, boobs.
No, I think it's 10. 14 to 23 is
Steampunk.
10.
Okay.
I don't know. I lost count.
What difference does it make? We read it. So, as I was saying, we certainly had a fair amount of action. We had some cool fights. I want to say that this is better than the prior, than the last version of these pages that you presented here. I like the Ferris wheel. I think Santa Monica Pier and like a carnival atmosphere makes for something that's a bit more entertaining. It gives you an opportunity for things like elephants and carnival people and Ferris wheels. So yeah, enjoyable. I like it. All right, Dan.
Yeah, the elephants were great. The Kool-Aid Man scene was great.
Yeah.
The panty shots were appropriately excessive. It's a John Lamont script after all.
Yeah.
You hit your quota. The connectedness of the action is much more visible here, which is really nice. And yeah, like we're down to a much smaller location, which means it's going to be much easier to sort of see how the different locations of the action react with and relate to one another. So it's going to be much better geographically placed than like driving down streets and whatever was going on there.
Larry.
Yeah. Well, I have nothing to compare to because I missed all the other versions of this, but it has some really good action. So yeah. There's a mech now, which is kind of cool. Last version of this story, I heard they were making like nukes or something. So that was like way back in like issue 1 or 2 or something like that.
No, nukes are issue 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
One of those common things in the 30s.
Yeah.
But much in the news lately. Anyway, constructive. I mean, I feel like it delivered what it was supposed to do. Yeah, it had more tension than last time. Like the almost kind of. I don't know. Maybe give a pass on construction. Danny, what do you got?
Okay, I have sort of a small note and a big note. The small note is that lead is not ferromagnetic at all.
No.
So good luck stopping that with a magnet, buddy.
Yeah.
Second,
Although I gotta say, Magneto does it all the time.
It's true.
in that case, I will accept it as a comic book thing.
Okay. All right.
The second is your pages have way too many panels and not enough establishing shots. You have some really detailed action. You've actually got something going on in the background that matters for a lot of this entire sequence, whether it's elephants or a Ferris wheel or people running from stuff or panic or whatever. And how you want to stuff a giant titty robot in there and also be able to see what else is going on in 5 panels per page, I don't know, but I suspect it's not going to work. And you're better off varying the size of your panels to improve the pacing of the scene. Shorter parts of the scene should have shorter panels. Longer parts of the scene can have bigger panels, and that's going to make it more interesting to read and to page through than this really regular 5-panel setup you've got, because like you're hardly working off of a grid here. But keeping to the 5-panel setup, details are going to get missed, and it's going to actually increase confusion if you do that. Whereas bigger panels with more art are going to really establish what's going on in a way that I think is going to be a lot more satisfying to read.
Larry,
Yes.
you got anything?
No, I don't have anything to compare to, so it would be
Okay.
unfair for me to give criticisms.
All right, John, your pages.
Well, you
have
could
been-
just comment based
Was there
on what
anything you
you've
didn't
read
like?
tonight.
Okay. No, I don't have any criticisms, honestly. It has good pacing and stuff like that. From the technical aspect, I think Danny's pretty right. It just needs a little bit more framing and stuff like that, but yeah.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Sorry it wasn't more polished. I've been super busy with other stuff.
That's okay.
It happens. You should see
And
my
so why
scripts
did
right
you go
now.
with Mecha instead of Nippletron?
Mecha Chick was a name that I came up with like 10 years ago when I originally created this character.
Cool. And is anyone actually going to say it on the page so that way your audience can cheer for the ridiculous name that you want? Because if you're not going all the way there, you shouldn't go all the way there. Are you going
Hey,
to put it on the cover?
Somebody in
"This
this
is the
stream
birth of
last time
Mecha."
commented that they got confused whether she was still in the suit or not. So every time she's in the suit, I wrote it this way so you know she's
Okay.
in the suit.
Oh, I don't have a problem with that. What I'm saying, if you like the name so much, have someone say it. So that way your reader can see it, because your reader doesn't get to read the script.
Nippletron.
All right, Larry,
Yeah.
would you like to narrate us some Palace issue
I can
3?
certainly try. Yeah.
All right, go for it.
Mm-hmm. Are you gonna assign any roles or just do them?
I will be
Uh,
Thora.
Yeah. We
Okay,
got
there you
Thora,
I don't think
John,
I've done Thora yet for this.
and John can be Gretchen,
Okay.
and I'll be everybody who's not Thora.
All right, we are on page 9, panel 1. Background. Ahead lie the gates of the lost Abercan city of Chiinko. Foreground, the four ride through the sand in early light of evening.
This place was called Chieko. I see it in my dreams, a world where people wrote upon clay instead of paper.
It's beautiful.
Panel 2, the four approach the gates where a multitude of skeletons, some armored, stand testament to an ancient genocide. Broken arrows, spears, and swords protrude from a few of them.
What happened here?
A proud people dwelt here. They raided their neighbors for plunder and tribute. How do you receive tribute? You just raid your neighbors for plunder, don't you?
Well, I was trying to encapsulate essentially like the way the Vikings raided the English, which is they would just raid for plunder and take stuff, and then the English kings got in the habit of, what if we just pay you to go away?
Yeah, insurance is really helpful.
Right. So I don't know what you would call that, where essentially you're
I guess it
degrading-
would be tribute. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the more classy way to put it, other than bribery or whatever. But yeah, same thing. Okay, panel 3. Thora leads the four through the gate into the courtyard area filled with skeletons, surrounded on all sides by high walls. Doorways and gates lead into the city ruins.
Until the neighbors decided to band together.
Panel 4. Foreground. Thora removes her horse's saddle. Background. Gretchen dismounts while Nestor and Bobby remain in their saddles, unsure what to do.
You and Bobby stay here and guard the horses. I recommend you set up camp. Gretchen and I may be a while.
But you're not taking us? What if there are undead here?
Don't let your mind drift towards peril. I don't want you to get spooked and flee. I'll need my horse when I'm done. Because now Thora's the asshole. I'm actually really cool with that.
Okay. Because I'm taking her in a very hard direction.
Okay. Page 10, panel 1, foreground. In her governess armor, Thora walks with Gretchen, who also left her robe behind. They walk towards the open gate leading into the city as two women sharing a common purpose. Background. Nestor and Bobby stand with the resting horses. Everywhere, the faces of the dead bear witness to the scene.
The forever sisterhood.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Panel 2. Thora and Gretchen walk through the ruins towards the towering temple a few hundred meters ahead.
This city's larger than Port Victoria.
This city haunts my dreams. A vibrant people once walked these streets.
Panel 3. Gretchen looks upon the crumbling carving in the nearby stone wall of Nergal, demon lord of war and death, depicted as ancient Babylonian figure of a lion's body and broadly muscled male torso. Thora surveys the ruins of the city.
At first, there were many gods, but gradually, Nergal, Lord of War, came to rule here.
From what you said, it seems like they suffered from the ultimate downfall of all chauvinistic societies.
Panel 4, Thora points to the wall relief showing a Bronze Age military parade as Gretchen recoils.
They made slaves of their neighbors through conquest and paraded them down the street.
Even the women?
I'm afraid so.
Page 11, panel 1. Gretchen begins to tear in horror at Thora's tale.
I have seen visions of the living praying promises of carnage to a powerful demonic prince with the body of a lion.
How awful.
Panel 2. Thora puts a reassuring hand on Gretchen's shoulder as they walk towards the distant temple in the shape of a pyramid.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here. Am I to bring vestiges of an ancient culture back to Alluvia, where I'm sure the High Priestess will eventually find a way to get me burned for heresy?
Look, I'm not sure if you're even yourself anymore. Ever since the summoner took you into his teepee. Without your consent, I might add.
Panel 3. Thora apologizes.
I'm not going to lie and say that I'm not forever changed by that experience, but I do feel still some semblance of my old self. And I've been so busy trying to come to my own understanding of what this means that I've forgotten to ask you.
Panel 4, flashback sequence. Wearing her governor's armor, Thora leads Gretchen by the hand into the discipline yard where stands a series of pillories, each attached to a platform with a cushioned seat. Iskander, last seen in issue 1, page 10, waits helplessly restrained by one of the pillories underneath a sign, Mansplainer.
If you have the chance to reflect on your recent experience with Iskander and the pillory.
Panel.
That was it.
Okay.
That was it.
Panel 1, Gretchen's point of view. All right, we're getting the POV here. The wooden pillory holds Iskander's head isolated from the rest of his body and trapped between the legs of Gretchen, who exposes herself to his shocked face by lifting her miniskirt. Thora stands behind Iskander, forcing his head forward with her shoulder, and she holds a knife to his throat, her face expressing her sadistic zeal for the task.
What was it like to emasculate him like that? Can you honestly not tell me that you knew you were doing something that would forever change both of you? And you enjoyed it.
Okay. Panel, page 13, panel 1, Gretchen releases her appreciation for Thora.
I have felt so much for confidence since becoming a
Should be
woman.
more, so more.
Thank you for being a part of it.
Fix
The
it.
honor was all mine. I do not know what is happening in this scene, and I'm going to read it anyways.
Okay.
You and I are sisters by oath, and I could not be prouder of you.
Thank you, my liege.
Panel
What are
2.
you doing to these people, Preston?
What?
Yeah, you're not very specific in what is actually going on. Is she just flashing the dude?
Yeah. Well, no.
I thought she was just
You
laughing
know,
at you.
everybody wants me to get I don't
No,
know.
I
I
want
can't
you
leave
to-
anything to the imagination here. All right, fine.
She flashes the dude, and then what? They're just talking, and that's it. Like, are we back into the present?
Oh, yeah. That was a flashback sequence. So it was okay. I felt like it was pretty.
It was fairly clear what was going on, and
Okay.
the dialogue suggested it was much, much worse than what the art showed.
Yes. Well, I don't think I can show too much more with the art. And,
And stick with a hard PG-13.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah.
All right, let's move on then.
Yes.
I don't understand the objection. Right.
You're all good.
I mean, if she
yeah.
just flashed him, like that's sweet.
No,
That's
she
kind of
didn't just flash
innocent
him.
and teasing.
John, she didn't just flash.
I mean, like, I'm a little unsure of what else was.
See,
I mean,
You're
there might be
unsure?
other things
Yeah.
that could have gone on.
Indicate something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, John.
John, I feel like I gave enough
Right.
to imply
You-
that there
let
was
me
some-
just clarify that sentence. You look at the dialogue, John, indicates something else that's rather a lot rapier.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Okay. We on panel
Larry.
2?
There we go.
Panel 2. Thora takes Gretchen by the hand and leads her towards the temple.
Now I will be there for you again when you experience oblivion.
Oh, I'm happiest acting in support of you, governess, but I'm not sure I want to touch minds with a fossil from this antiquated culture.
Panel 3. At the top of the temple stairs, Thora and Gretchen stand before a temple shrouded in shadow.
Nonsense. If we want to work as a team, we need to share the same experiences and loyalties.
I think diversity could be our.
Panel 4. Thora holds her index finger over Gretchen's mouth to silence her.
You're the squire. It's not your job to think. I'm giving you as much choice in this as you gave Iskandar in the pillory. Some experiences you simple need in order to change direction. You have chosen to service me, and so you have chosen to face oblivion. I don't think that's what service me means.
No, should be
Or
served.
does
There
it?
we
Yeah.
go. There we go. There we
I
go.
mean, she may well have done.
She may well,
but
yeah, and she may well have. But yeah.
I don't see what that has to do with
Yeah, there we go.
alien,
There we
pseudo-Babylonian
go.
gods.
Yeah, okay. Sir.
Now that's the scene I want to see.
Page 14, panel 1.
All is
Cowed.
fair in love and consent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cowed Gretchen allows Thora to lead her through into the darkness.
Now step in here and praise our new goddess.
Panel 2. In the shadowy light of the temple, Thora brings Gretchen to an ancient dais featuring a limestone altar.
How can you see? It's so dark back here.
Give yourself time to adjust. Now, hold my hand as we go up these steps.
Panel 3. Thora places Gretchen's hands upon the altar.
Atta girl. Now, hop onto this altar.
Altar?
Your question will be answered in time. Now, climb up.
God will provide the lamb.
Do it now. Panel 4. Thora stands over Gretchen, who sits upon the altar.
Great. Lie down and present yourself.
All right. Page 15, panel 1. Thora stands
I feel like all the sexual chemistry of the situation is making Larry nervous.
Maybe not so much nervous. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's necessarily sexual chemistry.
Yeah.
Someone's
It's something.
It's something.
Hey, I made Larry read Demonatrix. This should be nothing for him.
It should. Yeah. There's no vagina.
Demonatrix was awkward for everybody for the same reasons.
Panel 1. Thor stands at the head of the altar, pinning Gretchen's wrists above her head as she invokes her matron. In the shadows of the spirit realm, Aristogal walks down from the obsidian steps leading from her throne down to the altar.
Come now, Ereshkigal, goddess of loss. I offer you Gretchen Amberhair, my loyal servant. Take her as you did me, so that she might experience truth.
Well done.
Oh, damn. Panel 2. In the foreground, the blood drains from Gretchen's frightened visage as Aristogal forces a face-to-face contact. In the background, Thora continues to pin Gretchen's wrists to the altar, taking satisfaction in the view.
Okay. It brings me joy to offer her to you.
Look at me, my child. Stare into the face of oblivion.
Panel 3, background. The sun sits low against the distant hills. Foreground. Startled by Gretchen's scream, Bobby and Nestor look up from kneeling on the riverbank to fill their water bottles.
John, you can be Bobby. I'll be Nestor.
Bobby. Yes. Page 16. Panel 1. Retaining their water bottles, they make haste along the walls of the ruined city.
Looks like those women might need escorts after all.
Hush now, Bobby. Lives may be at stake.
Damn it, Bobby.
Damn it,
Panel 2. Nestor and Bobby arrive at the camp where the horses lie in blankets.
Glad to see the horses didn't get spooked.
Panel 3. Nestor leads Bobby into the city, beset by harsh shadows as the sun sets over the distant hilltops.
Stay close.
Panel 4. Nestor holds up a hand to shush Bobby as the pair move about the shadows of the ancient city caught in the gloom of night.
How do we know where to go?
Just listen for them. Now quiet.
Page 17. Panel 1. Nestor and Bobby crouch in the shadows of the ancient street.
As couch.
Oh.
That's definitely Gretchen. I hope she's really in trouble and not just being emotional.
I like this character now.
Panel 2. Nestor and Bobby converse in darkness.
Oh, they may not even want us to disturb them.
Panel 3. Nestor leads Bobby towards the distant temple, which sits in the twilight.
They're in the temple now. Stay quiet.
Panel 4. Nestor and Bobby climb the temple stairs.
Oh, Ereshkigal!
There we go.
Page 18, panel 1. Foreground, Bobby and Nestor crouch in the shadows. Background, Thora stands over Gretchen, holding her arms down over her head as she writes on the limestone altar. A vortex of spiritual energy swirls around them as spirits manifest in the raw mana of the ancient temple.
Do you understand now, my pet, the role you are here to play?
I'm not sure what's going on, Bobby, but I don't like it.
Let's try to save her.
Yay!
Yay. right.
This is going to go
Hey,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what do we think?
good.
Bobby and Nestor had some really interesting interactions, I will say.
That was some quite good banter, I agree.
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess I'll start. So the rewrite in the temple I liked. I liked the interaction between the two.
The two being Bobby and Nestor.
No, Gretchen and Thora.
Yeah.
I thought the way Thora kind of introduced Gretchen and by proxy the audience to what was going on, I thought was much cleaner than your previous version. So I felt like that made a lot more sense. And you kind of did away with the whole in the dark, in the light thing, which was very confusing. So the pages flowed a lot better, you know.
Oh, good old art direction.
Yeah, I really liked the some of the introduction to the temple and its people, and you wrote it in a way where it was about Thora, who's a character the audience putatively cares about, so that was good. And the two sort of pairs of characters were pretty balanced in terms of having something to do, having something to say, and actually like having banter like people. So that was quite good. It seems you might actually end this episode on a cliffhanger, which I'm very excited about.
Larry.
Yeah, much better than the last version, I guess.
Okay.
It had much better pacing and stuff like that. Easier to understand. Banter was a little bit better. The other two characters were pretty fun. So yeah.
All right.
It's going good.
All right, constructive.
Okay, I'm going to start. So I'm going to start by saying something nice.
Okay.
Which is, I very much like that you. There's two things I very much like about seeing all of these edits of this sequence of this chapter. The first is that you've taken 3 hard right turns, all of which are completely different. So, I mean, good on you for being able to like dive into all of these directions you've been considering, because they're all quite good. The second is I actually quite like also that you took something that could well be read as implicit in the interaction between Thora and Gretchen, and you made it explicit in some way. So, I mean, you're definitely giving the audience what they're paying for, and it was not a Jean Lamont script, so it was tasteful. And, I mean, it's not hard.
There's nothing not tasteful about my story.
There wasn't a vagina gun.
Anyways, so that was all really
I cut the
good.
vagina gun. There's none of that in my stories right now.
If you're going to keep the rapiness in it,
Yes.
I would definitely rewrite the flashback or the dialogue around the flashback to make it really explicit what was going on or what isn't.
Okay.
I mean,
like,
because
I agree with that.
As cute as the mansplainer thing is, I feel that at this point, this this part of the arc isn't worth the scene, which makes me very sad.
Huh. I feel like some people would want to see that.
Sure, but like, if it's
I don't mind seeing
like
that.
a standard thing.
And if I could interject as a guy who's been single for 5 years, if a girl came up and flashed me, I would not care at all.
Sure. That's fun. Yeah.
So it seems like it really breaks whatever you've got going on with the dialogue between them, the way it's written now.
All right, I
That's
don't
typical in
understand
the
how.
dialogue, or
How do
maybe
you feel it breaks what's going on with that?
so. They've got a very strange interaction here, anyways, right? Where on one hand, Dora's like, "Let me teach you," and therefore the audience, about all of this cool stuff we're seeing.
Yeah.
Then on the other hand, we're implicating Gretchen in the evil of Alluvia, which is fine. I know you want to do that, so that's fine. And then Thora's like, frankly, I don't care about your consent because you're my squire. And so, I mean, either we're implicating Gretchen and we shouldn't feel bad about her being abused on this altar for the whims of some unknown god, or we care about her and we want her to get saved by Nestor and Bobby, which obviously, from my reaction, I did.
Yeah.
So I feel like pick a lane. Like either she's actually the principled kind of good one, or she's not. And that was a good save the cat moment. But like, yeah. So either it's like Thora suddenly is like, now I'm gonna do something evil to you, and then it was her plot all along.
Okay.
Or Gretchen's actually a secret asshole, and now we don't know if Thora's evil or not. And like,
all right. So if Gretchen face rapes Iskandar with her ginger muff, does that make her a bad person?
That depends on how desperate he is.
I mean, okay, we're going to assume yes because consent is important, John.
Okay.
But then we can't turn around and be sympathetic about her 2 pages later.
That is true.
In a similar situation, and that's you've sort of written yourself into that corner.
I don't know that. Well, okay, you don't. Look, how you feel about Gretchen on the altar is fine, and it could be a myriad of things. I don't know that I need to present it as though you should feel one specific way.
I think what he's trying to go for is that if you present her as a rapist and then is sexually abused, we suddenly don't care as much for the character because, well, they're also
she's getting her just desserts instead of being tortured.
Right.
Okay. I mean,
so now
do you ever see the movie Hard Candy?
I
don't know why this is coming to mind.
Okay.
So
the Canadians in the audience love this. Don't worry, keep it up.
Okay.
Okay. Was it a Canadian movie? I don't remember. But anyway,
it was Kids in the Holler from Toronto.
So the actress formerly known as Ellen Page, basically, what do you call it? Not catcalled, but what do they when a girl basically tries to hook up with a guy? Catfished. So basically, she catfishes.
That's not catfishing.
She whatever a pedophile to trap him in his house, and then basically she ties him up and subjects him to all kinds of tortures, and then eventually castrates him. And that's basically the premise of the story. And because he had basically raped her younger sister or younger cousin, which we find out through the progress. Right. So exactly. So in the beginning of the story, it's like she's crazy little, crazy person because the guy's denying it outright throughout like the first half of the film. And we don't know anything because we know absolutely nothing about it except she played innocent so he would take her home and yada, 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 da. And I haven't seen this movie in like 10 years, so I'm going off the top of my head here. But eventually, like, it comes out that he basically raped her little sister and killed her or something. And yeah, we said at that moment, like, we suddenly don't feel anything for her. We're basically on Ellen Page's side.
Okay.
So I kind of feel like you're doing some. You might fall into the same territory where we may not feel for her as much if we know that she did some evil deed, which is what I think Danny was going for. It was just an example of that being used. Sorry if I went off too far.
That was, thank you. So yeah, that didn't read as well as I wanted it to because I really liked Bobby being halfway between being a young Edmund and a young Nestor, and his sort of am I an asshole if I do this, like, inner conflict. A little bit of that came out in the very little amount of dialogue you had with him.
Mhm.
And then Nestor's like, no, let's just go save the day. Come on, don't be an asshole. That was really good. But then, now we're saving someone who's probably fairly evil from something that's probably world destroying evil, while an evil thing is happening to them, and it's really hard to cheer for anyone saving the cat in this scenario.
All right.
We may end up just being on the side of Ereshkigal and just wanting the whole thing to burn.
I'm
Just why-
totally
just
cool with
watching
that.
it all
The
die.
reader shouldn't think so.
Okay.
And the two characters who are most likely to be considered the protagonist are Gretchen and Thora. And I'm okay with it being unclear to the reader which is actually the protagonist, but one of them should probably be the protagonist.
Okay. It's going to be. Larry,
Well-
go. John.
Oh, it's fine.
Larry.
Okay. Let me just follow that up. In your mind, are any of your characters actually good?
No.
There you go. That's all I needed to know.
Well,
I'm okay with everything
maybe-
that's happening then.
maybe Nestor.
There you
Nestor
go.
might-
But he's like simple though, right?
He
So,
is. He's there.
Nestor's going to be dead
Yeah.
by the end of this issue, isn't he?
oh yeah, for sure.
He might-
See, I look at it this way, like it's kind of like everyone's sort of an antagonist or an anti-hero or whatever you want to call them. So I don't really mind when they do bad things and bad things happen to them. So
And Lolita is written
Yeah.
from an antagonistic perspective. From like not a good person's perspective. It doesn't mean he's not the protagonist of the book. To give a very classic example, the protagonist is just the person who we're following and broadly cheering for. Theirs are the struggles that we are most invested in. So whether they're evil is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm gonna shut up now because I'm sure John has construction.
Okay.
I kind of said my piece. I
Okay. But by the way, does anybody? I had Whiskey Paint. Whiskey Paint's working on a cover for me, using the Hillary, and I had him sketch it out.
nice.
Sure. Oh, hey, is he still on Twitter?
Yes,
yeah.
yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Okay.
He hasn't been drafted or anything yet.
No,
No, I sent him a message like a couple weeks ago, and I hadn't heard back
Uh.
from him. So that's why I just wanted to make sure.
I think he retweeted something I posted over the weekend for Sleepwalkers.
Okay.
Nice.
Did he do a cover for you?
He didn't do a cover for me. He was actually going to be my backup cover person if my actual cover person was unavailable, because that guy works for Ubisoft and he's sometimes very busy and was being uncommunicative. So I was in touch with. Of course it is. I was in touch with my backup guy.
Is Preston, is this going to be one of your new available on your store soon?
No, it's way too hard to ship.
Oh, okay.
Will it be
there's a
flat
fair
top
amount of
with
work.
IKEA?
Because
I like
it looks kind of like an upgrade to that other chair that you
it's
made
like
a while ago.
way upgrade. It's a massive upgrade. It's way too hard to ship. But it did stem out of that. Somebody messaged me like, "Hey, can you make me an?" I'm like, "Oh wow!" Oh.
I mean,
You
yeah,
know,
could probably
I
make a
bet you
fleet
could
of
sell those STL files.
I maybe could. Anyway,
You could make a fleet of those and bring them to Burning Man.
yeah. So
Uh,
anyway, but yeah, I mean, here's the thing though. As rough as we want to say Ginger was to poor Iskandar's face with the vagina, if you really go back and look at like the practice of pillaring, which went on for quite a while, and I want to say like carried on through like the 1800s I mean, it was kind of a brutal practice that the community was encouraged to engage in.
Yeah, we were a
And-
bunch of barbarians in the past. I mean,
Yeah,
we still are to a degree.
And the kind of things that people would do to people in pillories, I think what Ginger and Thor are doing are comparatively benign.
Well, I mean, Thora has a knife to his throat. So are you sure about that?
All right, so okay, yes, she does.
Yes, but how many men today would pay
exactly,
to be in his position?
exactly,
but
yes.
you gotta come
I mean,
from
like-
the perspective of Preston's
Like
story.
Gretchen doing that
like-
thing and
Yes.
the implied death threat are
Yes.
two very different scenarios.
Okay, so if we remove
That
the
costs
knife, is it
extra
now
for
okay?
the implied death threat costs extra.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, that's part of the and I guess you're playing on it, and you can play on it that way if that's what you're going for.
Right.
But I guess that's part of the reason why I kind of got confused, because are they really doing that? And I'm like, well, I mean, in this society, are we really turning things upside down where a guy wouldn't?
Yeah, I mean,
I
hasn't
mean,
that been the
look,
case?
I mean,
from the
his
beginning?
wife might
So-
not want
yeah.
that to happen.
Well,
but
look, whether Iskandar wants to or doesn't want to is elegantly not the point.
So, removing the death threat makes Gretchen much less unsympathetic.
Okay, so I could. What if I just made that one change? What if I just
That
made
would
a-
certainly help.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Because then we just have Thora will just kill anybody or threaten anyone for any reason,
Okay.
and she's already probably the antagonist.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
She keeps doing evil things to her friends, so
She does.
and we're not really in her point of view as the audience,
Yeah.
because we kind of can't be as the audience,
Exactly.
and this isn't a novel.
Okay. Awesome. All right.
So I would start there and then revise the dialogue around it. Maybe that just is a thing that women do in this society to be considered sexually active, and that's fine.
Right. I mean, look, and I was thinking, what if this was?
I mean, seeing a main street with just dildo shops would also get the same point across.
Yes.
And I'm surprised you haven't done that. Because I mean, that's just a West Coast thing in North America.
Yes.
So that's cool. You're not far off. But the knife to the throat thing is okay, well, now this is clearly abusive as compared to being a somewhat humiliating
and somewhat playful
thing.
Okay.
Which
right.
the pillory is. The pillory doesn't say you're exiled from society. It says you did a bad thing and we're making sure everyone knows, and that shame should make you not want to do it again. Sure, people abuse people who are pilloried, but you weren't cutting off their hands and you weren't hanging them.
Right.
They were still considered redeemable, right? So when you add a knife to the throat to that, well, all of a sudden Thora is just a terrible person, and that's fine.
Okay.
But it doesn't, make it good that Gretchen seems to be enjoying it equally, and it implicates Gretchen in the that assault.
Face rating. All right. Okay. I will make use of all those notes. And
yes, you should absolutely, mock up that toy and bring it to the whatever you feel like you can sell it at, and I'm sure it will be easy.
Yeah, no.
It's called Adult Expo.
Yeah. No, I'm not going into adult furniture sales. And
Fine, license the plans for it. Make
outside of what I already do. But anyway, I wanted the plans for it. I'm always and we're gonna have a cover of Thora kind of sitting in the chair on the pillory, kind of holding it open with an arched eyebrow. So, we'll see if people or not. Maybe they won't. I don't know. But there we go. I'm trying to push the envelope.
As I was saying before I started giving a bunch of constructive You have found so many ways to make a 90-degree return through this one scene, all of which have ended you in different places.
Yeah.
Through
I
surprisingly
think,
different mechanisms, and that's actually very impressive.
I think the rest of this, it's going to be about Thor's conflict with Arica and Edmund, with Arica, Edmund, and Samantha for control of the kingdom. I think it's going to be the rest of the story. But anyway, there we go. I will go and get to work on that. But yeah. Thank you. Anyone else got anything to say on closing other than back Primal Chaos 2?
Yeah.
Back from Primal Chaos 2. It's a
Yeah.
really good book. It's gorgeous. The art is really, 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 really nice. The coloring is really, really cool. It reads really well. I just overpaid for shipping by 300% in order to get a copy of that book.
That is awesome.
Sorry about that.
And also, Sleepwalkers is out next Tuesday on
There you go.
Kickstarter. So
And next
there
week,
will be tentacles.
I should
And
have some more. So I should have issue 3 kind of all done and wrapped up. Well, at least I'll do that. We'll see.
Well, I'm excited to see what cliffhanger you turn this to.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.
All right. Good night, everybody.
And everybody.